EPI Speed Week is far from over, but tonight we'll be closing the dirt portion of this week of racing. Pro and Super Late models are on the docket this evening as drivers, there we go, have just 40 laps apiece to settle it all, whether it's the Pro race, the Super race, 40 laps, straight up shootout, and we're going racing. Welcome to Pit Stop TV for EPI Speed Week, once again from Volusia Speedway Park, and for the final time here from virtual Barberville, Florida. I'm Andrew Cardinal IV with Emerson Arden alongside, and last night's truck race was truly thrilling. 100 laps on the pavement at Five Flags was one of the most exciting races we've seen in a long time, Emerson, but I'm excited to get back to dirt racing. I'm excited to close this dirt portion out. I'm excited for late models, really.
Absolutely. Last night was a bunch of fun. Again, I was so excited for that track and car combination, and it didn't disappoint. We're back to the loose stuff, the dirt stuff here at Volusia, and can't wait. Looks like the lap times just continue to climb as we work our way throughout the weekend, Drew, and should make for some pretty exciting racing.
Yeah, we consecutively just keep getting faster and faster and faster, and we're not running 410s tonight, but we're still running some pretty darn fast race cars, especially when we get to the super late models here in just a little while. Let's take a look at tonight's track map here at Volusia Speedway Park. The fastest pro late model time set by Howard Weaver at a 14.861. So I don't think we're going to be getting all the way down to a 14.861, but we are going to be going quickly as we're already in the mid-15s, low 15s nearly for guys like Charles Barnes, who leads the practice session. So we are going to be dropping down to those faster times. And Emerson, we've got cars on track, just like that. Practice wrapping up. About a minute and 50 seconds left to go, and let's get out there and see some of these cars. In fact, here is Charles Barnes. How about Chance Carr in the pit lane in car 2, and Clinton Conrad, it looks like, as well. And Ryan Gray is going to head out for a run in his number 06. Let's go on board. We do have 9 cars, it looks like, for this evening. Charles Barnes, Chance Carr, Clinton Conrad, Colton Zimmer, Alex McCullum, Rylan Gray, who we're on board with currently, Travis Gardner in the 37, JD Sassy has just connected, and it looks like we'll also have Ryan Nardone as Justin Stoltz and Cody Slauson are our admins. On board here with Rylan Gray, 6th quick so far in the 06 car. And Emerson, it looks like that car is handling a little bit towards the tight side, a little bit understeer as you got the wall there in the back straightaway, way up the track here in 3 and 4. A little bit off there for the 06 car for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's all that comfortable with it. I think he wants to get a little bit more turn in on entry to corner to right, a little bit more smoother to the center. It does look pretty stiff here. Right on board with Clinton Conrad here, who's 3rd quickest in the practice session. And he's able to get it angled in a little bit better, a little closer to that inside wall, and trying to let her rip here on exit.
And Conrad will call that a practice session for himself. Here's Colton Zimmer in car 09. And Colton riding the top side of the racetrack right through the middle, really, but on that cushion. He looks like he's got a good handle on the car. Whether or not, I mean, he's not the fastest on track. He's actually tied for 3rd with Clinton Conrad, so he's certainly not slow. But the nice thing that I like about Colton's car right now is it looks like it's handling nicely. And that's difficult to find sometimes in a dirt car, especially on an early track state like this, as practice will come to a close before Sassy or Nardone hit track, but that means that we've got qualifying coming up. Let's talk about the weather for this event as Zimmer comes to a stop there on the inside of the track. And as the session switches, the weather should change a little bit. Yes, right there. So about 75 degrees in the air still, 63 on the track. It's nice and cool.
Yeah, great. They had to run some dirt pro late models here. Here comes Colton Zimmer, first one to take to the track with Rylan Gray as well, and right on board.
And it looks like Zimmer may have realized something is off, so he will call that run done already. As here's Rylan Gray beginning his qualifying run here at Volusia. A little high on the track, might have tagged the wall coming to the start and finish, but pulling up that left front just a little bit. Looks fast down the back straightaway into turn 3. We'll see what this lap is, and no, that's abandoned. That did not sit right in turn 3. Here's Chance Carr beginning his run.
Carr getting all you can get there out of 2. He's running right up against, well, what you would, I guess, call the cushion here. All the loose marbles up there. Get that first time on the board at a 15.6 for Chance Carr. And we'll see if the second lap is any faster.
Chance Carr down to the start-finish line to wrap up lap number 2 of his run. Does not quite get the wall there, so that lap will count, but it's no faster. 3/100ths of a second slower. McCullum in the pit lane. Here's Gardner on track. As Colton Zimmer is on a fast lap. Rylan Gray goes second on the board. And Barnes has to restart his run. Conrad also on track, but here's Zimmer. Finally a lap in for car 10, and that is... It should have been good enough for pole. I'm confused why that didn't count. I guess he must have hit the wall or something there. So Zimmer goes nowhere on the board as Conrad goes purple at a 15.639, but last lap for Zimmer was faster. Can he repeat that? The answer is no. It looks like a 6.65. That puts him in third position. It is actually correct. Looks like it was 6.63, so he's about 2/100ths of a second of Carr, and now look at that, McCullum to the top of the board.
Yeah, McCullum with a blazer at a 15.627. You know Zimmer is kicking himself after not getting that 6.17, but whoa, we got some steamers on the board now. Charles Barnes of a 15.557, and here's JD Sassy.
Sassy was quick, but not quick enough to get any higher than 7th spot as he beats out Rylan Gray on the grid. So he's our 8th car to take a time. Stoltz and Slauson are admins tonight. They will not be taking times, but we're still waiting on Ryan Nardone. It looks like he may not take a time in this session. So we may only have the 8 cars that have turned a qualifying lap so far. So, Emerson, let's talk about some upcoming broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV. We've done this throughout the course of the week because we still have more EPI Speedweek racing coming up. And tomorrow night, we have modifieds. That's right, pavement modifieds, asphalt modifieds, back on track at Five Flag Speedway. And we've got SKs leading the show for 40 laps, and then tour-type modifieds on track for 75. And then on Sunday, kind of the main event, we'll have a 75-lap late model stock race leading into a 100-lap super late model race. And that is going to be big.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a lot of fun. The mods are great things to wheel around Five Flags, so I've heard, and that should be a lot of fun racing there. And then, of course, can't wait till we get to the big stuff on Sunday. Wednesday, Andrew, next week, we have our season finale for the Outlaw Sim series. It's finally race 36 of 36, and a champion to be crowned that night. 4 drivers made the championship 4 and are eligible. And first to the finish line, kind of a shootout to decide the champion between Jennings, Bailey, Service, and Berger, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long season. So I just get a message from the admins, and one moment, I had to completely divert my attention. Sorry. It looks like we'll be advancing qualifying a little bit early. But anyways, what I was getting at is, yes, the finale here for the Outlaw Sim Series on Wednesday is going to be a lot of fun. December 14th. It has been a long season. That's where I was trying to get to. A very long season from February all the way into mid-December. That is 10 months of racing. And that's some Formula One stuff. In fact, that's more than Formula One. Is their schedule keeps getting longer and longer, it feels like. But that is a long season. Not disrespectfully, but I'm glad it's coming to a close just because I'm glad we're going to be turning a new page in that series and crowning a champion finally. It should have happened about a month ago at this point, but unfortunately, some hurricanes, admittedly, I think it's a pretty good deal that the Outlaw Sim Series was able to pivot, give drivers weeks off for big hurricanes throughout the southeastern United States, and allow them to be safe and not have to worry about trying to debate, do I stay home for this series that I'm invested in, or do I just, evacuate? And obviously that would not be a good decision to force upon drivers, so it's better to go ahead and postpone those races. But anyways, we've got cars on track, Emerson. Let's go through our starting grid. On pole, Charles Barnes in car 21 on the inside. On the outside, though, you'll find Alex McCullum in that all-white number 9. Starting third, you're going to find Clinton Conrad in car 23. Chance Carr will roll off from the 4th position. And to round out the top half of the field, Colton Zimmer, Travis Gardner.
Row number 4, we'll find the 22 of JD Sassy and Rylan Gray into 06, starting 8th. And, well, those are 2 admins there, and Cody Slauson and Justin Stoles. And actually, I believe also Ryan Nardone is an admin as well. So, our 8-car grid gridded up here and getting ready to do battle.
Yeah, I was kind of confused by the Ryan Nardone situation, but I think you're right. He may be an admin as well, so not adding to our field. But 8 cars, 40 laps should be some fun. I know that might be a lower car count than some guys expect, but I think that's perfect, honestly, for what we need for just having a nice fun race here in Week 13. And let's talk about the fact that, again, this is fun racing in Week 13, and I think it's the start of something that's going to grow over the course of some seasons. It just takes some guys showing up. So if you are interested to get in these races, we still have 2 days of racing. Tour Type Modifieds and SK Modifieds tomorrow night. You can still register. Go to raceepi.com or find Elite Performance Industries on Facebook or Twitter or even Instagram. And same thing if you want to run pavement late models on Sunday. Again, late model stocks on Sunday for 75 laps and super late models on pavement at Five Flags for 100 laps. And there is an entry fee, but you do get a lot of money if you go up there and win these races or even finish towards the front of the field. As there we go, all 8 cars roll off the grid and we are about to go racing. I do like these races. In fact, I think we've mentioned a couple of times, it's cool to see these, even if they are smaller car counts. We can't really avoid that conversation. These guys have been racing clean all week. We have not seen a single race get away from us. Even last night with the truck race, it seemed like it might get away from us, but no race has gotten super caution heavy. We've had clean racing, and I think that's more important than having 30, 40 cars on track, Emerson. It's more important to have the quality racing. We've had that.
Absolutely. It's been clean. There's been, that aggression there, as there should be. Like tonight, there's $30 on the line to win tonight's race, and I'm sure these drivers will be getting after it. But yeah, these drivers, they've shown, respect. I think a lot of them, there's been drivers racing kind of throughout the week, like Alex McCullum, who, doesn't want to, make an enemy on Tuesday and have them, kind of follow through the rest of the week if he runs any more races. And, again, these guys, they're all, here to have a good time here on Week 13, more than anything.
And believe me, we've covered dirt races with 30, 40 cars before. I'd prefer this 8-car race that we're about to have that's going to go clean and green, I think, or at least mostly clean and green, and I'll eat those words if I have to, but we have got 40 laps on tap for you this evening. Let's pipe the music down and turn the engines up as we are green flag for Pro Late Models at Volusia. Down through turn 3, McCullum, a big lunge on the inside, and Alex McCullum quickly takes the race lead here at Volusia. A big surprise move out of him as he gets on by the 21, and now 3 wide for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 1 car in the fence, Clinton Conrad around, and that will draw an early yellow, as it looks like he will continue. I thought he might have been done.
23 does look like it's in some rough shape, though, and Clinton Conrad, he went from battling for the lead with Charles Barnes to getting a little bit of contact there with Alex McCullum entering turn 3 and getting, really bullied and bodied the rest of the way around. Clinton Conrad works from the front to the back in just under a lap length of time, and it was a tough go.
Let's go back and see what happens to him here as he was battling up front. There on the inside of Conrad, on the inside of Barnes in the 21, then goes to the outside quickly as the 2 fills that hole in the middle, and it was the 09 of Zimmer who just bobbled a little bit. That sent the 2 up the racetrack into the 23, and thankfully nobody else was collected.
Yeah, and it's hard to kind of predict that, right? And I'm sure, Colton was trying to keep it down there on the bottom and maybe just lost nose a little bit, and, to kind of forced the 2 a chance going up into the 23 Clinton, and once you get sent up the track, there's not a whole lot you can do in these things.
Yeah, we'll get one more look at the inside of the corner that really sets all of that off. And we could even go back to the full start of the race and see exactly how McCullum takes this race lead. Watch this, as Conrad's right behind all of it. McCullum up the racetrack in 1 and 2, powers down the racetrack on the back straightaway, just got a really good run, sends it there on the inside of Barnes, and Barnes has to check up mid-corner, and McCullum launches forward to the race lead. But you'll watch here in 1 and 2, watch the 09 of Zimmer on the bottom side, and he just kind of upped the racetrack the tiniest bit. The 2 reacts, and there's nothing that these guys can do after that. So, as we get ready to send them back green on lap 5, and actually it'll be lap 6 when we take the green flag. All 8 cars still in the field, but McCullum now up front and choosing the inside. Our drone catches up with the field and gets ready for another start, a restart to this race. On to lap 6, back green flag, McCullum leads to turn 1. Colton Zimmer squeezes through to the 3rd position, move the 09 up one more spot as Rylan Gray slides in behind in 4th. We get single file up front as the 37 was way up the racetrack that last lap of in 3 and 4. I'm not sure if you saw it, but he went straight from the basement to the attic very quickly.
Yeah, Travis Gardner, he was up there. I believe he maybe even caught a little bit of the fence. And Chance Carr is on a drive through the field. We're riding on board here. This is Travis Gardner working on Clinton Conrad. And still going at it side by side. Conrad doing a nice job in that banged up number 23.
Yeah, he is definitely not rolling over. He's got a lot of damage, but he is not done. As you can see him wheeling there on the left side, and you can see the 37 digging underneath. That is Travis Gardner. Nearly some contact there in 3 and 4, and our leaders are starting to go at it just the same. McCullum down to the bottom as Barnes retook the race lead, and McCullum digging down low, but he's just not good enough. And that's going to fully relinquish the race lead for now.
Yeah, McCullum still trying to fight down there on the bottom. Can't keep it down there. Now has to look behind him at Colton Zimmer, who is really closing the gap here, looking to see if he can take advantage of the number 9 of Alex McCullum. And Chance Carr has joined the picture. He was EOL'd for that last restart, and he's already up here battling for the lead.
Chance Carr trying to work back towards the front of the field. Here's that battle between Gardner and Conrad. Gardner taking the spot away finally as Conrad has to give one up. JD Sassy there will now take an opportunity to try and look at the 23 car and work his way by. We've got effectively 2 packs on the racetrack, Emerson. Not usually that you see that in dirt racing, but it's working out for now.
Yeah, with how hard McCullum and Barnes are going at it, they're not really slowing down this, lead group, this lead pack of cars. Back to that second pack, these guys are still able to keep up their speed and battle it out fairly nicely.
Right down on the very edge of the nose here for Alex McCullum. A very dangerous spot to put a camera, but we've got one, and this is a wild view to see for dirt racing as he chases the 21 of Barnes, gets oh so close there in 1 and 2, keeps getting closer and closer.
Absolutely. He's trying to keep Barnes on his toes, trying to keep him thinking, trying to keep the pressure on, maybe force Barnes into a mistake or wait for the track to change into his favor, McCullum's favor, to see if he can work his way around this 21 machine. And Carr to the inside of Zimmer.
Battle for 3rd, lap 16 of 40. And there goes the 2 car right back down to the inside. Carr going to try and slide up, but doesn't quite get in front of the 09. Side by side still, they battle on for 3rd and 4th. Zimmer now the advantage up top, and the 09 is going to power back to an advantage on the top side.
He's not entirely cleared. Carr tried to get back at it. Now Zimmer holds that spot. Carr's going to give it another go. He might have to sit back here, kind of reset before he goes at it again.
Chance Carr still chasing the 09 of Zimmer. Launches back into 3, I think gained some time there in entry. The 09 walking way up the racetrack, losing a lot of time, opening the door down low.
Carr sticks his nose in, trying to make it. Can't, as Zimmer holds on to that 3rd spot. And again, it's so hard to pass Carr, who's defending well in that, middle of the racetrack, but effectively the high lane around this place when you have all the marbles up there. Now Zimmer covers it off. He goes low there on the entry of 1.
JD Sassy got by Clinton Conrad recently, so move those guys around for his 7th and 8th spot. Is now Zimmer working down low once again, changing his line. Halfway to go. Cross flags here at Volusia Speedway Park.
Getting after, but in about the next 5 or so laps, we've kind of seen the track change most of the week, right? Or the leader kind of has to change their line. They're not finding the same grip that they normally do. So we may be getting to that point here very soon. We may see some battles kind of shift in momentum in the favor of one another. Here goes Chance Carr once again, trying to get the slider off, but still side by side.
He had the nose ahead for a moment, but Zimmer powers back on by, and Carr 09. Nose to tail now. Carr still trying to get by the 09 for 3rd. I honestly wonder if Carr might have had the speed to catch the leaders, but now he's still got to try and challenge for this, just the 3rd position, as McCullum continues to hound Barnes out front. There's also a battle for 5th. Rylan Gray now with company from Gardner. Gardner on the bottom side.
Gardner trying to recover from the restart mistake, trying to get down to the inside of the 06. Riley and Gray holding station there for the final spot in the top 5.
Nose to tail, they work one more through 1 and 2. It'll be 15 laps to go this time by. Riley and Gray going to cover it up on the bottom side. And you can see that slick line starting to develop, and Gray got way out of shape there in 3 and 4.
But Gardner followed him, wasn't able to take advantage of it, and now has to sit back behind, try to regather himself and go at it again. Still hounding the rear end of the 06 is Travis Gardner.
Nose to tail still, nothing changes. This, the closest battle on the racetrack, as Gardner tries to move one more spot forward. Side by side that time at a turn 2, the Elite Performance Industries 37 continues working the bottom side of Ryland Gray. Keeping the left front in some more moist dirt, but it's just not going to happen.
It's getting tougher and tougher to run that outside lane, though. You see Ryland struggle a little through the center of the corner. Had a chance there, was Gardner, but was not able to capitalize on it. Now Gardner a little more sideways on entry, near contact there, coming out of 4.
As those guys race, our leader is getting close once again. Back up front, it'll be 11 to go this time, and Charles Barnes, that window back to McCullum is tightening up.
And Barnes, he moved up from that middle lane, Andrew. He's now working that bottom side.
Here we go.
Had to go to the high side. He's got the line to the inside.
Slide job.
He gets the slider, but here comes the crossover.
Beautiful crossover there from Barnes in the 21. He's now slides up in front of McCullum. McCullum, though, still to the outside. Down to turn number 3, and Barnes sends it in once more. A slide job, maybe? No, he holds it down low. McCullum's going to have the run at the start-finish line. Almost dead even.
Lap traffic up ahead, trying to stay out of the way. Up in the marvels is Clinton Conrad. McCullum clears Charles Barnes.
Here we go to turn 4, 8 laps to go. Look at the 3rd and 4th positions now closing in as well. Colton Zimmer coming up as another send there from Barnes, but he can't quite get clear of the 9 of McCullum. McCullum may just have another race win on his hands here. Emerson leading with 8, coming to 7 to go.
And maybe Barnes felt it was starting to get slick up there, but McCullum is driving through that slick. He's now cleared. He looks like he's got that spot secured for now, and he'll have to see if he can try to extend any gap he can here on Charles Barnes.
6 laps to go this time by. McCullum hanging on to this race lead and starting to open it up a lead as well. It was a beautiful slider he put initially on Barnes. Barnes had him cross back up, but couldn't quite clear him once again. And now the full hand in the air from the starter. 5 laps to go at Volusia.
And you know, wow, that slider initially didn't work. What it did do was it positioned McCullum on that high side alongside the 21 of Charles Barnes. And I think that's all McCullum needed. But here comes Barnes with a go at it again.
This race is far from over. This is far from over. 4 laps to go this time, and Barnes actually had the advantage through 1 and 2 that time at the center of the corner. Slides back in the back straightaway. 3 to go when they get back to the start-finish. Nose to tail, Barnes is far from out of this.
Barnes still has some fight in him here, trying to get to the inside of McCullum. McCullum driving right down, exit in the wall as a 21.
That might have done it, but still, popsicle sticks in the air this time. Barnes is not letting go of this race win just yet. He's now going to run the cushion up top and get a run for turn 3. Let's see if he can get there. I think the answer is no, not yet. He might have a chance the next lap, but it's going to be white flag in the air this time, presented by Whiplash Simcams. Just 1 lap to go for the Pro Late Models here at Volusia. Charles Barnes may have put himself in the fence one too many times, and sure enough, through turns 3 and 4, it's going to be another race win this week for Alex McCullum. In EPI Speedweek, he wins in the Pro Elite Models.
Brilliant job from Alex McCullum to kind of get himself positioned there. Size up the 21. Wait for that moment where he could take the preferred line, make that slider, get that battle off and going, and then holding station around the outside through the rest of that battle. Well-deserved victory from Alex McCullum, but you know Charles Barnes is hurting after that one.
That was electric, those last 10, 12 laps. That was fantastic stuff. And that is everything you could ask for and more from some dirt racing here on the iRacing.com sim. People say iRacing dirt racing is broken. And I want to show them clips like that. That was fantastic racing. Even if it's not perfectly to real life, it's very difficult to do. That was good racing. That's far from broken, for sure. Let's take a look at our unofficial race results after 40 laps of Pro Late Model racing this evening. By 4/10, McCullum takes the win after leading 18 of 40 laps. Barnes led the rest. Zimmer goes third place tonight. Chance Carr there in fourth. You'll find Travis Gardner in the fifth position, and Emerson, you can see the rest of the field there. JD Sassy, Clinton Conrad, Rylan Gray, 6 laps down. He parked it a little bit early. Conrad lost a lap, but everybody comes home in one piece.
Yep, everybody does finish out the race for the most part. Rylan Gray did, go there with about 5 laps left in the race. And great battling up there amongst the top 4. That kind of split into 2 little duos up there. Gardner was able to hold station over JD Sassy, Clinton Conrad, and the misfortune of Rylan Gray secures that top 5.
Well, that does it for racing for the Pro Late Models, but we've still got some drivers to talk to, Emerson, and we've been talking to this guy out of the state of New Jersey, the Garden State, quite a bit this week. Alex McCullum puts together another W. And Alex, I know it didn't sound like Pro Late Models were really your thing on dirt, but you wouldn't have known it from that race. How'd that one go for you?
Hey, that was a good race. I was actually very shocked how I performed tonight. I kind of built this setup like 15 minutes before the race. Damn, I don't know. I don't normally run this good on dirt, so I'm not used to doing interviews on dirt. But damn, that was a good race.
That it was. What was the one thing, I guess, you found in that race? Back half of the race, it seemed like you just turned things up a wick. You got 18 laps led, fighting there with Barnes. It seemed like at any point in time, either one of you could have won, but what made you win?
He was really good on the bottom there, and the bottom was pretty dominant there, and I scooted up just a little bit, and the car just hooked up right on one of the laps, and I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna beat him, I gotta keep running this line and see if I can catch him. And I did, and I just set him up and just got around him.
Well, the night's not done. Are we gonna see you in a super here in about 10 minutes?
No, I did not sign up for the supers, so
oh, man,
I just signed up. I just signed up for the Pro Late.
Well, we still got modified and late model racing. Is there a particular car you're looking forward to driving the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday. I'm running the late model and the supers, so that's usually my go-to, so I'm looking forward to that.
There you go. Alex McCullum wraps things up with another win this evening in EPI Speedweek. Alex, congratulations. We'll be talking to you, I'm sure, this weekend.
Thank you.
Alex McCullum, once again, a race winner here for EPI Speedweek. How about Charles Barnes? Emerson just comes up 4/10 too short.
Yeah, Charles Barnes dominated the first half of this race, and Charles, it looked like you kind of went from the middle lane there right up against the marbles to the bottom side. Why was that?
I was trying to find something. I kind of saw him getting some runs up there when he was running the middle a little bit, so I was trying to find something that could stay on pace with him. I knew if I just kept it on one lane, he was going to end up getting me with how the track was changing, so
you threw that slider, but you were able to get the crossover there. But how hard is it to really fight someone who has that high side advantage?
It's pretty hard there at Volusia, especially when you're going in on the bottom off the wall. It kind of kills your turn in. You kind of have to let up really a lot to get the drive back off the corner. And I kind of figured he was going to pull back around me, and I was hoping maybe I could get a slider on him later in the race. But he's got a better setup than I did.
Well, that's a tough race to kind of work your way through there, Charles. But are we going to see you in the next race here in a couple minutes?
Yes, sir. I'm going to be there.
Well, chance for redemption then for the 21 of Charles Barnes, who comes home second today after leading 22 laps.
Thank you, sir.
Barnes goes P2, but Colton Zimmer fought valiantly versus Chance Card. Ultimately, Colton ends up holding the two-car off for several laps, if not just about the entire race. And Colton, you come home P3. How'd you manage that one?
Yeah, I kind of was a bit involved in that first instant of the race, but after that I was able to just keep it clean and hold my ground. Chance was really fast there for a long time, but then I was able to start pulling away from him and reeling in the leaders, but I didn't really expect to get them. I was just trying to settle for third, and that's what I did.
Now, we've had this whole week of racing. This is the first time we've seen you this weekend. Are you going to run some more races? You're running the super race coming up in a few?
Yeah, I'm gonna be racing the super race, and then that's probably it for my week.
Well, hopefully we see you Saturday or Sunday as well for some modified or late model racing. But what is it, I guess, that draws you specifically to these late models? This is just what you usually run?
Yeah, this is just usually what I run, and I was excited for this race, seeing the payout. But then once we got in here, the payout was shortened to $30, so that kind of sucked. Unloading the car, expecting to get $100, but it got dropped to 30. But it's alright though. It's still a fun race. Wish we could have had a bit more cars. But yeah, it's still a really good event overall.
Well, Colton, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on the P3.
Thank you.
And Colton Zimmer shows up tonight and still takes home a pretty solid finish. And so drivers out there, yes, some of the payouts may change per car count. Of course, that's kind of the way things go in real racing as well. So if that's part of something maybe you weren't expecting, hopefully you are now, just to be completely clear about that. That's part of racing sometimes, and that is why the power of social media matters so much, to share these events and get you and your friends and your whole team. Go ahead, bring 10 cars out here. Let's run. Let's have some fun on the dirt at Volusia. The Super Race coming up next, Emerson. What are your expectations there, considering we've got a whole lot more power in those?
Well, I expect there to, maybe some more attempts at some overtakes, because you'll be able to kind of do a little bit more with these shorter straightaways. You can really, lean on your line through the corner to kind of, get yourself set up to make some more passes and hopefully just a little bit more fun.
We're definitely going to have plenty of fun here in the Super Race coming up. 40 more laps of racing. Don't go anywhere.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Absolutely. As now we see the drivers make their way into the pit boxes. Dobbs, Robertson, Kinder, Barlow going to go all through 4 of them and take his place on the first pit stall. Wide bracket falling in behind. As now we wait to see these 4 tires in fuel and who's going to be able to win off pit road first. Adam Lancaster drops the jack first. Alan Dobbs is going to get off away early as Lancaster is going to jump all the way up to 3rd with that, almost beat Robertson, and they make contact, and that is not what you want to see. That might be a pit exit violation on 28, but that is a very devastating blow to number 2 car. You got to hope he didn't get too much damage out of that, but that was a hard hit to the inside wall.
Down the straightaway, we'll get a replay here and show you that one again. That car was really consistent and really strong. I was thinking Robertson was going to be a big factor in the finish of this race. You see Adam Lancaster and Brandon Robertson coming out side by side from the exit of the pit lane, and there was for the completion of 4 fresh tires on that machine. Dobbs got him out of the pit lane, no question about that, but Lancaster got a really great pit stop, came out beside him, and just trying to have enough room between both himself and the wall and himself and Lancaster. Obviously, he misjudged how much room he had to his right side and just clipped that wall. Unfortunately, that's going to be a big blow for Brandon Robertson, but he should be able to get that car fixed up and maybe before we even get back to green flag racing, get it back on the grid.
So getting on pit lane is going to matter a lot. Getting off of pit lane is going to matter a bunch as well. And we also see that margin from 2nd and 3rd starting to close up on the race leader, Jesse Webb. We were talking about the headlights. He was making good use of them there. Trying to warn, oh, trouble in front of him. Look out. That's right in front of the leader. He somehow gets by after the 2 lap cars tangle in turn 1.
it looked like Gergois might have gotten on the brakes a little bit too hard, and he will collect Mick Blue as a result. Not too much critical damage for these drivers, but handling is sure to be an issue.
So Gergois, the car that got into the back of Mick Blue, who perhaps was maybe trying to yield to the leader, who was warning.
Welcome back to the virtual Volusia Speedway Park in the virtual Barberville, Florida. super late models on track, and Charles Barnes to the top of the board. Keith Hackney's been quick. Clinton Conrad, Chance Carr, everybody's quick once again. And Emerson Supers on track. A whole lot more power behind these beasts.
Oh yeah, we saw. We're seeing these times. They're right now they're kind of matching, but these guys are still breaking the track, and a little hard to do with the cars that get out there on the track now. But once this track is broken a little bit more, we'll see these times start to really rock it. We got the same cast of characters from last race, with the exception here on board with Keith Hackney, the one change from last session. McCullum, no, Hackney is up, and he's up here in second place on the charts as well.
And change that to third as Clinton Conrad goes to the second spot in practice. And this again, just practice, as let's see what Conrad can do, as Conrad and Hackney will both head back out on track. Gardner is back as well, as Travis Gardner is P5 currently. JD Sassy is up to the sixth spot in practice, and Rylan Gray currently rides in seventh in practice, as they're going to have just a little more time to burn the track in a little bit, trying to get back into some drier dirt. It was a fresh track state for these guys when they unloaded the supers a few minutes ago, about 13 minutes ago actually, so this is what 13 minutes of track time has done to the dirt here at Volusia Speedway Park. You can see we're starting to get that groove forming in the bottom half of the track, moving that dirt up the racetrack as Hackney goes back to second.
Very, very thin margins. 9 1,000ths separates Barnes and Hackney, and 7 1,000ths separates Conrad from Hackney. And it's 1 1,000 between Carr and Gardner for fourth. These margins so minute here. And yeah, we've seen these times already work their way up. When practice started, they were running about 15.9, 15.8 on the fresh track. So times are picking up. It's just working our way there.
Here's on board with Gardner. And he's working here with Rylan Gray, and he's actually going to pull off and call that a run, actually. Here's Rylan Gray is on board. And they're not going that much faster, but they are getting just a little bit, I guess, a little bit faster at the end of the straightaway. Of course, more power does not always mean they'll be that much faster on the track. They still have to be able to get around the course and, well, around the speedway without hitting the wall or anything, as well. Rylan Gray knocks the wall down there in turns 3 and 4, just trying to find what works for him. But, they still have to be able to get the power down. So they might have to work on the throttle a little bit as Keith Hackney goes fastest. But Emerson, let's go ahead and check out the track map here for Volusia. You'll see what I'm talking about. Very short straightaways, as we've mentioned a couple of times this weekend, or this week. As just like Five Flags, very short straightaways, very wide corners, a long time trying to modulate that throttle and get the most speed out of the car and the track. So if you just lay in the throttle, it's not going to work out for you. You've got to modulate that throttle. That's why Pro Late models are actually pretty close in speed. The World of Outlaws Super Late model fastest lap time here is only 4/10 faster than the Pro Late model. So, and that's just on iRacing laps. So very close in times.
Well, there you go. And yeah, there's a lot of modulation. We're seeing these guys, they're getting about 115 at the end of the straight. They're working the speeds down to about 85 in the corner. So, there's a good bit of lowering these cars down for the center of the corner. Actually, 82 through the center of the corner. So I just saw one of them. So a great variation in speed, which I think is going to add to the racing value. I think we're going to see a lot more here on corner entry here, and should be a good time.
Still waiting on Colton Zimmer to hit the track, but everybody else has done so. Hackney, Barnes, Conrad, Carr, Gardner, Sassy, Gray, the rundown of your practice time. So while these guys run a few more laps of practice, as we await qualifying, we're going to go Pit Stop TV side by side. You'll be able to see the track on the left, and you'll see a couple of messages from our partners here at the channel on the right. And we are serving a $60 payday to whoever wins this race. As here we go, McCullum. Welcome back to the virtual Volusia International Speedway, Volusia Speedway Park, as practice will come to a close, and we have picked up Alex McCullum. So add him to our race field as we get ready to go racing once again for 40 laps here at Volusia. The final dirt race of the week, so this is the final opportunity for these dirt drivers to put on their best possible show. Add Keith Hackney to the mix, and I think we've got a bit of a fun race on hand for sure. Glad you're joining us here at Pit Stop TV this evening. By all means, follow along on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, the whole lot of them, as all of those links are there for you. And Alex McCullum on track in the white, number 12. Zero practice, Emerson in the super. Let's see what he can do in qualifying.
Yeah, he got out there, ran about half a lap, and the session was advanced. So McCullum gonna get out here, learn the super, kind of as he goes along with his qualifying run. And, he does have the per race kind of, fall back on what he just did, but we'll see if he can translate it over.
Lap 1 for McCullum is a 15.704. Lap 1 for Rylan Gray is a little slower, and McCullum is going to call it a day for qualifying right after that. So he's beating at least one driver as Hackney gets onto the track. This is his out lap. So this is his dead lap coming to a time. Let's see if he's going to roll with it. He will. Green flag for Hackney.
And Hackney here again, this is his first race of the night. He didn't get any of that pro race, and he'll spit it out there on the back straightaway and have to reset.
Here's Sassy on a flying lap into 3 and 4. Charles Barnes as well. But Sassy to the start and finish line. Let's see what the time is. It is a 15.838. That is a P3, as Barnes' first time is not actually going to go. He actually pulls back into the pit lane. Chance Carr on track. He will wrap up lap 1. It's a 15.650, and that is good for pole. As McCullum now drops to second. Sassy with an opportunity. He will stay second spot. Hackney now back on track.
I was just about to ask if the track had slowed down. But we see Carr and Gardner now getting into the sixes. These things, they're not easy to drive, but it's a lot of power. And as it is, dirt is a very hard discipline just because it's loose terrain. We're right on board with Hackney. We'll see what Hackney can run here, coming across the line, and that'll be...
Pole for Barnes. The purple there, the purple time confused me. The new fast lap there goes to Barnes at a 15.618, and that, it looks like, is going to be it for qualifying. So... well, we thank everybody for trying, but Barnes is going to take another pole this evening over Carr, Hackney, and Gardner, your top 4. McCullum will qualify 5th. And then it's Rylan Gray, Colton Zimmer, and J.D. Sassy. As Clinton Conrad makes no attempt yet in qualifying. He may still try and go for it, Emerson. Kind of surprised that he has not taken a lap.
Well, Conrad, he lost his packets. He had packet loss there. In the practice session, and he has not been able to reconnect. So hopefully he's able to even just get back into the session, because he was up there in the practice times. I believe he was 3rd or 4th before he dropped due to upload packet loss.
Very unfortunate there for car 23. Hopefully he's able to make the race in about 2 minutes time. Big thank you though to our partners here at Whiplash Media SimCams, SimWrapMarket.com, and Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. Emerson, let's kind of reconvene here on upcoming shows for us at Pit Stop TV. Modifieds tomorrow. We haven't covered much modified racing, if any, here at Pit Stop TV before. We covered some late model racing before, but modifieds is a new thing for us. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, we're getting both the SKs and the Tour mods. Pretty big difference in power there, so it's gonna be pretty much 2 completely different races, even though we're going to be racing very similar car types tomorrow. I'm excited to kind of see, the differences kind of put on display in front of us here. And then Sunday, where we're all hyping up to get here. Sunday night should be some fantastic racing with the late models. Just can't wait to see what Five Flags has in store for us. And of course, personally, I'm a little biased for the championship finale on Wednesday, just because I followed that whole story from February to what's going to happen December 14th on Wednesday. And yeah, talked to the Championship 4 earlier this week. They're all, pretty excited for what's coming up at Richmond on Wednesday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern.
Meanwhile, I think out of these 3 broadcasts, I'm most excited for the tour types on Saturday night and the late model stocks early on Sunday. I say early, but at 7 p.m. on Sunday ahead of the Supers. Those are the 2 kind of cars that I follow the most out of what we have left this week. Legends were also very exciting on Tuesday, and that's the other kind of thing that I follow a lot in real life, but a lot of tour type racing and especially a lot of late model stock racing in my last few years here in the Carolinas, and that will end qualifying as Clinton Conrad is not able to get a lap. Has he made it back in the session?
He is not yet. I don't believe Conrad's going to be able to take part in the session.
Very unfortunate for car 23, but on pole once again, you'll find car 21 as we'll walk down our entire starting grid. Chance Carr will join Charles Barnes in the front row, and starting third, you'll find car 69 with Keith Hackney behind the wheel. Travis Gardner rolls off fourth tonight, and Emerson, the 5th car and the middle car in our field, it is Alex McCullum.
Starting 6, we'll find 06 of Rylan Gray to round out row number 3. And row number 4, the final row on our grid this evening, Colton Zimmer in the 9 and the 022 there of JD Sassy.
There's still time. We could still get a appearance here from Clinton Conrad. As you can see, a couple of our admins there. And one more admin on this row in Ryan Nardone, but we still might get that 23 car at some point, hopefully before we get this race under green, as we're still waiting on McCullum to grid up. I think making some last-minute adjustments potentially to the setup is. Looks like you can tell the difference. We've got 7 guys that run supers a little more often. They had their setups ready, and McCullum took just a little bit of extra time, as it looks like we are now just about ready to roll them here. The iRacing.com official pace truck stationed there on the front straightaway, ready to turn them loose. Emerson, expectations here for supers?
Well, I'm not really sure. The track temp, 65 degrees, only a couple degrees warmer than our previous session. But the winds, we're guessing a little bit more at 10 miles an hour as opposed to the 4 miles an hour we had in the previous session. Now I'm not really seeing a large discrepancy in speed, and just seeing more of these cars are harder to get into the corner. I still think we have that chance, to get some setup passes to kind of go into the corner, and maybe more mistakes then, because it does look like this car is much harder to drive.
I think the hope is definitely for a little more off-throttle time with these super late models here on the half mile at Volusia Speedway Park. Red lights on means we're about to, there we go, send the cars in the front stretch, and they roll off and away. Once again, glad you're joining us here on Pit Stop TV, as, there we go, the grid officially off here at Volusia. Let's go through those onboard cameras again that we have for these dirt late models. Here's onboard with Colton Zimmer from the nose of his car. This is right down at the bottom, Emerson. This is an interesting view, as is the gearbox. If you will, this is looking out the back of the car, and when these guys get close, this is a very, very good view from the back car to the, from the front car to the trailing car. You can see just how close these guys get.
Absolutely, we got some great views with these shots in the pro race as well. We saw especially Colton Zimmer himself kind of duke it out there for that 3rd position, was able to hold on to it on board Travis Gardner here. Keith Hackney there on the left side. This is a great view as well. You kind of see, kind of how close they can get down to that inside wall when they're running that inside line.
This is also one of my favorite cameras to use. This is on the left side looking back, so as drivers try to challenge on the inside, this is a perfect one to use, as you can see them really poke to the inside and try to take those spots away. We also, of course, have one on the right front, just behind the right front wheel, one on the right side and looking back as well. But we have got a field of cars ready to go racing, Emerson, as we're about to turn them loose here from Volusia Speedway Park, waiting on the green flag. It looks like green flag is out. 40 laps, let's go racing with supers on the dirt of Volusia. Side by side, it's Barnes down low, Carr up top. 1 lap will go complete. Dead even, I think Carr had the lead.
And a similar
contact.
Car there.
Oh, Carr hangs on, but there was contact there from Barnes to the 2 car of Carr, who went up the racetrack. Everybody's okay, 2 laps in.
Again, most of these guys, they had a chance to run, you know, a similar car, kind of get running with one another. Hackney has not tonight anyway, and Hackney is getting a little fresh taste of this group of guys. Car to the inside, 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide there as they work into turn 1, and it's still Barnes out front, but only barely as Carr went purple that time. Down to 3 and 4, and you can see Carr working that bottom side. I think he's got a little better speed right now in the Super. Up in the air is the left front of the 21 car of Barnes, trying to hang on to the race lead. Contact there, Hackney's going to go around.
I think McCullum got in there a little deep, and a caution will come out for the car going around there in the 69 of Keith Hackney. And I mean, they were all on top of each other there, Andrew. They were through after the lead the lap before. You can throw all 4 of them under a blanket going into the corner. I mean, it's just very tight racing.
There was the 3 wide across the line for these 3. Hackney had backed out, was trying to find a way back through. And there will be just a little bit of contact here into turns 1 and 2. This is the onboard from Hackney. You'll see it here. And McCullum just gets a little deep, makes a little bit of contact, and around goes Keith Hackney out of Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, before the race, he only got, half a lap of practice. Looked like he was, last second entry. He only ran a lap at qualifying and went back to adjusting the setup. So McCullum didn't look like he got comfortable with this car just yet. And definitely just got in there a little deep, got into the left 3 of Hackney, and they're both here well.
So Charles Barnes will still be your race leader, as we will have some 33 laps to go at the drop of the green. Barnes still out front, Carr up top. Carr actually nosing ahead as we get ready to take the green flag here in just a couple of moments. Green flag will fly once more. We're back racing. Colton Zimmer down low, making it a 3-car fight. Add Rylan Gray for 4 cars. We've got 2 4-car groups here, 2 quartets as they work down the front straightaway. 1 lap complete from the restart, 32 to go.
Well, unfortunately, Hackney and McCullum, they got sent to the back, but we still have a 4-car battle up here after the restart. Rylan Gray struggled a little bit in the last race. So good to see him back up here looking for a little redemption. And here comes Colton Zimmer to the inside. Can't keep it down there to the inside of Chance Carr, who's still working on Barnes.
Both Zimmer and Gray were attacking that lap. Gray now falling back as he works to the inside of Zimmer in turns 3 and 4. And it was nearly a complete slider from the 06 car, but Gray falls back as Sassy and Hackney are side by side across the line. And Sassy going to lose that spot. Here comes McCullum now on the inside. Hackney going to work to the inside of the 06. And Keith is going to pull the slider. Now the crossover out of Rylan Gray side by side. This is for 4th.
Yeah, great. Barely sneaking in between Hackney and McCullum. Now tries another slider. Slides way up past the 69 of Hackney. Hackney goes on through. Here comes McCullum in the battle for 5th. Looks like Gray able to hold station right now, but McCullum sizing him up and looking for a hole.
Up front, here we go, side by side for the race lead. It's Barnes and Carr. Lap 13 of 40. We've got a proper fight up front. Side by side, up top, the 21 car. He's going to keep the race lead just barely across the line. Carr still fighting on the bottom.
Carr searching for every little bit of an advantage you can find down there, but it is so hard to go against the car who has that outside lane advantage. If he can send it in there, he nearly cleared himself there at the center of the corner, but Barnes fights back, has the lead at the stripe. Carr drives it hard through entry and center, just can't find that exit.
Nearly everyone in this race is in some type of fight aside from Colton Zimmer, as Carr nearly had the race lead. That time was almost clear in 3 and 4. He's going to try again down here in 1 and 2. Gets less clear that time in the center of the corner. Let's try 3 and 4 one time, maybe again. He's been better down here on this end of the track, and Barnes a little slower, but it's not going to happen. Barnes keeps the race lead.
And Barnes is just keeping himself just enough to the outside to not allow something to, not allow Carr to clear himself. We still have it going on up for the front.
Battles everywhere as Carr continues to fight for this top spot with Charles Barnes. These guys were both fantastic in that pro race. Carr eventually was held off by Colton Zimmer, finished 4th in the pro race, trying to rebound as Barnes with like one more chance at a win.
Yeah, Carr was EOL'd in that pro race for that one and only caution, had to drive his way back through the field, didn't really have a proper go for the race lead. Charles Barnes, he's been up front in both of these races now, and he's been under attack for most of it.
A quick slider there from Gray, a crossover out of Zimmer. That's the fight for 3rd spot. As up front, Carr and Barnes still. Carr might even have an advantage this time for turn 3 and 4. Does he lunge up the inside and try and pull a slider? The answer is no. He can't quite get there.
That is some hard, gritty driving from Charles Barnes to keep it pinned on the outside there of Chance Carr, not allow him to get clear outside, and now roaring back to life on that outside is Barnes.
Barnes might finally be in soon, as that is halfway. Now halfway and 1 lap. 19 laps to go. And you can see the battle behind. McCullum's going to pull a slider there on Zimmer for the 4th spot. Hackney there as well. And maybe finally Chance Carr can get clear. Yes, Carr clear out front for the radius lead right now. Powering back on the outside still. Barnes is not letting this one go.
He's got that fight in him. He still wants this lead, and he's going to fight for every last opportunity he can find and get out there up on that high side. Carr thinks he's clear. Barnes drives it through the exit. Catches the wall a little bit there. Carr drives it back down to the inside in 1 and 2. Not clear, not over yet.
It'll be 16 to go this time by. Rylan Gray, Colton Zimmer still 3rd and 4th. Now McCullum powers back through the 4th spot as Barnes has the race lead across the stripe that time. An attempt back here from Chance Carr trying to get that lead back so even side by side.
Carr driving it harder and harder.
Oh, he almost had a slider.
The slide. Can't get it there. Barnes to the lead once again. Still holding station up high.
Now Barnes fell back on the entry of 1, and Rylan Gray is joining them all. We've got a fight for 3 cars, 3 positions up front. Slide job that time out of Carr. He goes way up the racetrack, and that opens the door back on the inside. Here comes Rylan Gray to get by Chance Carr for 2nd. He's going to take it away as Barnes will retake the race lead.
Carr through that slider, trying to get that spot, caught the wall, and now lost 2 spots out of it. He's under attack from McCullum. Now Rylan Gray enters the mix. Does he have anything for the 21 of Charles Barnes?
Share this race on Facebook. If your friends are missing it, they're missing the best race of the week. As we've got nose to tail, and there we go! Spinning for 2nd spot. It's a crash on the front stretch. Zimmer involved, Rylan Gray, and Chance Carr. The big part of that is Sassy's going to park it on the wall, unfortunately. He will get back going.
That's huge.
But does he have terminal damage? No, so he will continue.
That looked bad initially for Sassy, and oh my goodness, that would have been the worst to have no part of it. And it's not easy to stop these things under. You can move around the corner, saw the track was effectively blocked, tried to slow it down, put it in the wall there, but hard race, and finally there's some contact up there, and resulted in somebody going around.
Yeah, Chance Carr just gets in deep, gets into the 06 of Rylan Gray, and sometimes there's just not a whole lot you can do. Rylan Gray comes up the track, and he was just trying to get back going, and Sassy got a piece of it.
Yeah, that's a tough go there for Sassy and Rylan Gray. Chance Carr, I think his eyes lit up. He was trying to get there. Also, I think Barnes kind of came down a little bit and checked up Rylan Gray. Carr didn't really see that checkup, and that's why he got into the side of him.
A lot of times when somebody says that was just good hard racing or whatever, a lot of times I'll disagree, because there's always something somebody could have done, right? But in that case, honestly, Emerson, that was good hard racing.
I think so. Again, it's tough as that 3rd car to even see the leader through the car directly ahead of you, right? And I really think it was just a little bit of I think Barnes was trying to angle the car off the corner and Rylan caught him at a weird point. He had to check up, and there's just nowhere for the car to go.
Nine laps to go. Under caution, we'll have 8 laps to go when we take the restart here in a few more moments. Barnes, your race leader. McCullum now 2nd, Emerson. Right back to that same fight we had in the pro race. Suddenly, we find ourselves in the same position, just about. Although they find themselves really in the same position, they'll be restarting side by side, flip their numbers, they're inverse of each other, 12 and 21. And we have, once again, a fight for this win between McCullum and Barnes. Into 3 and 4, the iRacing.com official pace truck will take back to the pit lane and leave these guys on the racetrack one more time. There we go, restart for Charles Barnes. One of these guys anyways. Green flag is back out of Fallujah. 8 laps to go in the dirt portion of the week here for EPI Speedweek. Hackney, a brief touch of the fence there. Keeps after it. He's thirds. Your top 3, Barnes, McCullum, and Hackney.
And that restart, I think, did wonders for McCullum. After getting eel weld, he drove his way through basically the entire field and he needed just that one reset to have a go here. Charles Barnes trying to get the power up the inside. Barnes, he can't just avoid a battle. He's going at it again for the race lead.
Here's the onboard for Keith Hackney as he takes a look at these two. We'll have 5 to go at the stripe this time. A full hand out in the air from the starter stand. And Hackney powers up on the outside of McCullum.
Fantastic racing all night, and it all comes down to this. Just 5 laps to go. McCullum trying to figure out the car as he goes, and he's going down to the inside, trying to get it. He'll have it at the line there barely, and Barnes tries back on the outside.
How would you feel if you're Barnes right now? How much harder are you going to race him in this battle? We'll have 3 to go this time by.
I mean, Barnes might be driving the hardest 80 laps of his life, and I'm sure he's not gonna live this down if he loses twice in a row.
He had such an advantage compared at least to McCullum, was in that fight with Chance Carr and everybody else, had the race lead as they got single file contact and the caution came back out. Now it's 2 laps to go. McCullum had the nose in the corner, but at the stripe it was still the 21C of Barnes by just barely a hair across the line. A lap and a half to go here at Fallujah Speedway Park. They're going to fly into turns 3 and 4. Nearly clears McCullum. He's going to slide up, tried to clear himself. White flag, 1 to go on the dirt. Presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. Let's see if we get a send down here in turns 3 and 4. McCullum looking for a second win on the night. He's going to slide into 3 and 4. And Alex McCullum's going back-to-back in the late models.
Oh my goodness, McCullum, a last-second entry. And then he gets eel weld. He drives through the field, last second, steals the show away from Charles Barnes. And oh my goodness, I would not be able to believe it if I was Charles Barnes.
This guy is darn good at driving at least virtual race cars. But you know what? He won the Turkey Derby in the Legends division not so long ago over Thanksgiving weekend. This guy is just good at driving race cars.
Oh, Alex, no doubt. He's shown that all
unbelievable.
week. I mean, we've got some insane talent coming out to the races this weekend, True. It's just produced some amazing racing. And that also might be the best race of the week.
That definitely has what it takes to be the best race of the week. Let's go ahead and take a look at our unofficial race results after 40 laps of super late model racing. Alex McCullum, another win. Only led 3 laps there at the end of the race, but narrowly beats out Charles Barnes. Keith Hackney goes third. We'll be talking to all 3 of them here in just a few moments. Chance Carr has to settle for 4th once again. Travis Gardner 5th, Rylan Gray 6th, Colton Zimmer much further down the order this time in the super late model race. He will finish 7th spot. JD Sassy will go 8th.
Yeah, that's how the 8 cars kind of wrap things up here. Unfortunately, Conrad not able to rejoin the race, and I guess he'll be credited with 9th. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal race. I mean, we watched the lead battle almost that entire race, as we should, because it was intense the whole way around, but there was battles all throughout the field.
Yeah, we tried to go back and see what other battles were happening when we could, but that was a lot of watching the leaders. Let's go ahead and bring in the guy who is the leader at the end of the race, leading just 3 laps this time in supers. Alex, a late entry, a surprise entry, and you're back in victory lane. This time, again, over the 21 car of Charles Barnes. How'd you do it? What was the car like?
Hey, I don't know. I might be switching over to dirt here soon, so I shocked myself once again. But damn, this car. These setups that I ran just came in really late, and honestly, it paid off. I mean, I got into Keith there. We were just racing really hard, and my nose just pushed out back, clipped his left rear. So I apologized for spinning Keith there in the beginning, but I knew Keith was gonna be fast, so I just let him do all the picking and choosing coming through the front. So I knew I had a really good car coming through the front, but I needed a yellow, and that yellow came out perfect for me. So I knew Charles was gonna be quick, and I knew I had Keith behind me, so I had to either follow him or try a different line. So I tried a different line and tried to roll bottom. That thing was hooked up on the bottom.
You have been dominating short track racing on the sim, it looks like, recently. All this extra cash from these couple of wins tonight means you're running all 4 of the races remaining, right?
I'm not running the modifieds tomorrow. I have something to do. I have to do something tomorrow, so unfortunately I won't be making the modifieds, but I'll be back Sunday.
Well, I tried. I tried to get him into the rest of these races, Emerson. But Alex, congratulations once again. On fire right now for EPI Speed Week. Can't wait to see how you do on Sunday in the late models.
Thank you.
Alex McCollum, another win, goes back-to-back, sweeps the night here at Volusia in the late models. Let's bring in the guy who has to finish second to him twice in a row. And you're talking to him twice in a row, Emerson. It's not a bad thing, but it's not as good as it could have been.
No, and I'm sure, in the grand scheme of things, second twice tonight, not, bad results at all. But I know, Charles, that had to be probably the 80 hardest laps you've driven in your life, man. What more could you have done?
Honestly, I don't know. I was so heartbroken when he got me, and I was like, I felt like I drove a good race. I messed up a little bit 1 and 2, about 2 or 3 laps to go there, and that really gave him that lead just enough to where he could get in front of me that last corner. But it was fun. At least it's the same person, but I felt good. It was fun.
Absolutely. And that time kind of at the, hand of kind of being in a battle the entire race. You were up on that high side for most of the night. Did that kind of start to fade away from you, or why do you think the mistake kind of came up there in the final few laps?
I do think that bottom line in 1 and 2 really started coming in there late race, and I was thinking about running the bottom after that last restart in 1 and 2, but I didn't want to change something that's been working the whole race with Chance car below me and all that stuff. So, I gave him the bottom, and he capitalized off of it. I could give it to Alex.
Absolutely, but a wild night for you. Again, that was some of the hardest driving I've seen. Some phenomenal driving from you up on that high side, Charles. So major props to you there. Are you going to try any of the asphalt stuff, the mods tomorrow, or the late models on Sunday?
Probably not. I'm not a big asphalt guy. I'm trying to dabble in it a little bit, but I'm not there yet to run with some of these guys.
Fair enough. Well, that'll do it then. Second place finish for Charles twice on the evening. This race will lead 31 of the 40. Congratulations on the second place, man. And hard fought race tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Charles Barnes has to unfortunately handle a P2 twice in a row. Let's bring in, though, somebody who just takes 1 third place on the evening, Keith Hackney, who made it just in time for the Supers. And Keith, early, you had a little bit of contact, got sent to the back. How was it fighting through the field?
Well, it was it wasn't that bad. Granted, I think a few of the cars in the field was on one of the sets that I built for this Speedweek. So I actually tried a little something different, just try to be different than them guys. And early on, I didn't feel too great, honestly, but I felt as the slicker the race got, I got really good, and I was really fast. But when you got 2 cars in front of you, whether it was Alex or Charles or Ryland and them or Colt Zimmer, just whoever. When there's 2 cars side by side, you can't go anywhere. I was really fast, but I'm not gonna wreck nobody for a spot, or at least try not to, or for the win and stuff like that. So I missed the pro race earlier. I wanted to run it. I didn't know if I was gonna have other things going on, and I tried to get in right before the race, but I guess Tyler didn't see my message. So it sucks, but hey, I'm just here to have fun and try to support everything that's going on with this, and trying to help the car count here. Granted, it is a little low, but hey, it was actually a good race. And honestly, when you see Ryland up there, sprint car guy, second, third place, and running up front, that just speaks volumes of what kind of drivers that was in this race. So just huge shout out to all of them, and just good win to Alex.
we said it in the broadcast. I'd rather have an 8-car race that finishes like that just did with you guys up front than watch a 30-car race be cautions all night long. This has been fantastic, and you know, obviously you're a dirt guy. You've been building dirt setups here for EPI recently. Are you going to run some of these pavement races through the weekend?
There's a good possibility. I've actually been running a lot of asphalt lately. I run asphalt leagues throughout the week for like e-NASCAR stuff. So there's a good possibility, man. I love asphalt, and if I don't have anything going on, I will try to dabble into them.
We better see you at least the mods tomorrow, man. We got SKs and tour types. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we see you there, Keith. Congratulations on a P3, and yeah, hopefully we see a lot more of you this weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
There you go, Keith Hackney, a P3 this evening. A big congratulations goes out to Car 69, and it's great racing the entire night. That is what you want to see out of some dirt racing here on the iRacing.com sim. I know a lot of guys, you know, they're valid in their reasons, their whatever, their complaints sometimes about the sim, but this is so good. So good. iRacing is such a good product. Dirt racing, pavement racing, road course racing, doesn't matter what it is. Last night we had one of the most exciting GT3 races at VIR ever. Tonight we have one of the best late model races you could possibly ask for, and I'm sure we're about to have a lot of great modified and late model racing at Five Flags the next couple of evenings, Emerson. This is maybe the height of iRacing so far.
I'd have to say so. I think major props to iRacing, especially for yesterday with the GT3 update that put a lot of the pro drivers on their toes. We've seen the pro drivers yesterday make so many mistakes I thought we'd never see them make, and that was a wild race. And tonight, it was a fantastic product put on by the drivers this evening. A great way to put a bow tie on the dirt part of Speedweeks this week. But tomorrow, we get with the modifieds, the SKs, and the tour mods. Should be a blast. Can't wait for that. And of course, what we got coming up behind.
We're going to talk about upcoming broadcasts here on the channel all night long, so we won't bore you with the details too much more. We just ask that you follow along on social media, facebook.com/pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_, instagram.com, and twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, and youtube.com/pitstoptv1. That will do it for us this evening from Volusia Speedway Park, and really this entire week from Volusia Speedway Park. The racing on the dirt is over. That means we've got tour types, well, SKs and tour types tomorrow, late model stocks, and super lates from Five Flags on Sunday. It has been so much fun. Thanks so much for joining us thus far in this week of racing put on by Elite Performance Industries. And thank you to Tyler Payne and everybody at EPI so much for allowing this event to take place, putting on this event in the first place. This has been a ton of fun. And again, as we've said a couple of times, exactly what I think the sim needs on week 13. And hopefully we see this event grow and prosper in years to come. That will do it for us here at Pit Stop TV. Once again, thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next time, hopefully tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, Five Flag Speedway, SKs and tour types, 40 laps for the SKs, 75 for the tour types. We'll see you there.